Hi guys! Today I'm going to be showing you how to make a yogurt culture, which is also called a yogurt starter, so you can make your own yogurt. Now essentially a yogurt culture or starter is just a bit of fermented milk which produces bacteria and lactic acid, which when we add it to milk, it helps the milk go through that process of clotting, which then produces yogurt. To make the culture, you'll need one of three options. You can use a lemon, 2 chili peppers with the stems on, or 3 cardamom pods. If you can't find the pods, you can also use about 20 cardamom seeds. You will also, of course, need some milk. I have about 3/4 a cup of raw milk. While I'm sure you probably can use pasteurized milk, it might turn out okay, but it's really important to use the raw milk because it has naturally occurring bacteria, which of course we need to make the culture and the yogurt. We're going to start by adding our milk to the pot. Now you want to use a copper pot or a ceramic pot like so. You do not want to use a stainless steel pot because stainless steel is actually naturally antibacterial, and like I said before, we want to keep the bacteria we have and produce some, so no stainless steel. Now we're going to heat this on medium-low heat just for a few minutes until it's about 120 degrees Fahrenheit. We do not want to kill the bacteria, so we don't want it to boil or even simmer. What we're doing by warming the milk is just simply giving a nice starting temperature for the culture to start forming and therefore bacteria to start forming. Because in order for our culture to form, it needs to be in a warm, not hot, but warm environment. So we're just kind of kick-starting the culture and giving it that heat. Now if you don't have a thermometer, you can simply just kind of guesstimate the temperature of the milk. Basically the milk should be quite warm, but if you were to stick your finger into the milk, it shouldn't burn you and you shouldn't want to immediately pull your finger. We want to stir it every once in a while just to make sure that none of the milk is getting scorched. So our milk is warm and I'm just going to pour it into a small container. Now today I'm going to be showing you how to use the lemon method, but I will tell you also how to use the other two methods. Now to use the chili pepper method, you don't need to cut them or anything, you just want to simply submerge them in the milk, making sure that the stem especially is submerged. For the cardamom pods or seeds, you're going to do the same thing, you just want to make sure that they're submerged in the milk. Now for the lemon, we're actually going to cut this into little slices. Now there's no right or wrong way to cut the lemon, you just want to simply slice it, and I use the whole entire lemon, even the seeds. So same thing with the cardamom pods and seeds and chili peppers, we just want to make sure that the lemon is completely submerged. So you just want to have a little something like this. I do want to make note though that if you do choose to use the chili pepper method, they do have to be chili peppers. Using serrano peppers, jalapeno peppers, any other peppers, ancho peppers, anything like that, it won't work if it's not a chili pepper. We then want to make sure we cover the top of it, so I just use a coffee filter and some old sewing material. But use a ribbon, string, whatever you have to hold the coffee filter down. If you don't have a coffee filter, you can just use some old fabric or a small rag, whatever you have. So like I said, we do need to maintain that heat for the milk in order for it to create the culture and the bacteria and the lactic acid, all of that stuff. So you want to keep it in a warm environment. What I like to do is to use an old lunchbox and a rag. What I'm going to do is place the rag inside the lunchbox and then place the culture inside of the rag. Then I'll just fold these remaining parts of the rag over the top of the culture. So now I'll just zip it up and we're going to place it in a warm environment. We want it to be warmer than room temperature. So that can be a cupboard, a cabinet, I like to keep it in my hot water room. It can be if you have a warming drawer underneath your oven. It can be even in your oven, microwave, just anywhere is warmer than room temperature. Once we place it in its warm environment to ferment, we want to leave it there for about 16 to 18 hours. You can even leave it 24 hours if you like. So now we're gonna go let it ferment. It's been 24 hours. I decided to leave mine the maximum time that you really want to leave it. That 16 to 18 hour range is a good range as well. Now let's see what it looks like. This is what it looks like, and the little clotted parts stuck to the lemons, that's what we want to use. Here I have an old glass jar, and I'm just going to scrape the substance off of the lemons and put it in this jar. The culture is the thick clotted substance on the lemons, so same thing with the cardamom seeds or pods or the chilies. You want the thick clotted substance, not the liquidy ones. You should also have some leftover culture that didn't stick onto the lemons, so you just want to go through that and make sure you get all the culture out of the bowl as well. Here's our culture. So this came off of 1 lemon and 3/4 a cup of milk. For 1 batch of yogurt, you'll use a tablespoon of culture. I noticed that I tend to use about a heaping tablespoon, but 1 tablespoon for 1 batch. I noticed when I make this from 3/4 a cup of milk and 1 lemon, I get roughly 3 tablespoons about of culture. And like I said, this can stay in the fridge for 3 weeks. So 1 tablespoon per batch of yogurt, and that's good for about 3 batches. Thank you guys for watching. If you happen to like this video or found it interesting, go ahead and give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss any future content. If you happen to make this culture, have any comments, questions, go ahead and leave those in the comments below. Cheerio, Andrasta.